Welcome back to the Burns. Are we having some technical difficulties, everybody? But once again, we are back. And let's just get right back into it. Let's give a very warm welcome to owner and craftsman Trevor Oakes of HRD Batting Company.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Hopefully, this time we get something accomplished here. Man, this is brutal. It's starting to make me angry. But yes. How are things, man? Good. It's nice to
Think
meet you.
things are great, man. Things are awesome. And you must have had some pretty crazy Canada wind today for that internet.
Oh, it's the last couple of days. It's just been super windy out here. It's just like there's just fields around me, so it's just always wind.
Must have been
But
that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. contract that's starting to rear its ugly head now.
yeah, maybe. That's funny.
All right, so can you give us a little background on your company, a little intro into the HRD Bat Company?
Yeah. Yeah, so again, 2017, I I started making bats because I broke two bats. I wasn't going to buy another bat, so I bought a hand lathe, and I thought, hey, I'll make my own. They weren't great, but you learn, right? Um, so I started making my own. Then my teammates wanted them, my buddies wanted them, and then kind of word spreads, and I was like, hey, maybe this could be like a little side gig or something, right? It got to the point where like I had to like decide leaving a secure job that
Hmm.
I liked and doing this, or leave this and do the job. Um, but I knew if I didn't choose the bats, I'd kick myself in the ass later on. So I pulled the trigger and I quit my job, my day-to-day job, and just started doing bats full time. And then in 2021, I met up with Nick Shales. I knew him before, but we're good buddies. His background is he's a high level like men's fast pitch player. So he played for the national team for Australia. He's from Australia actually, and yeah, like he plays very high level, very competitive ball, and he's probably one of the best swings I've ever seen. So anyway, yeah, him and I linked up, and we were like, oh, let's start this HRD back. So we did, and right from the get go, we were like, let's do it right. We'll make sure that these players are getting exactly what they want, performance and quality. Um, so we only buy like pro grade wood. We don't buy. There's like five different levels you can buy. We only buy like the highest grade because we always believe that if we start with that and we keep it up, our reputation will take over. So right now we're starting to see that hook around. So it's pretty great. Things are going great. And everybody seems to be pretty happy with the bats. So yeah, that's where we're at now. So we're going to year 5. We've been pro approved since we started. So every year we do the approval for the MLB. We visit the clubhouses down there. This year was good. We made a lot of like we got our foot in the door in quite a few clubs, and with a bunch of like our target's minor leaguers, so it's hard to convert those major leaguers. But
Yeah.
so we made quite a bit of moves this year. It was pretty great. So yeah, we're just now it's on to like leagues and summer collegiate leagues, and we sponsor a league up here, the IBL, the Intercounty Baseball League, and so we're gonna start moving on to that, getting those rolling. And, Dave Boucher and Sheldon Howell down there in the KCLB. So we've been working with them. This is our 4th year going in, so I'm pretty happy with that. Last year I was lucky enough to visit Wichita, so it was pretty great for the summer showdown, I think it was. So yeah,
Yep.
it was fun. Finally got to meet Dave and Sheldon face to face. We always just talked on the phone for 3 years, and then finally I got to meet them. So that was, yeah. So yeah, we're going. I think we're in the right path. We're making moves.
It definitely sounds like you're making moves. Well, what gave you the motivation to start up HRD? I know you spoke about leaving your job and all that, but it's kind of it, it couldn't have just been because of a broken bat. You had to think of the logistics of it and all that.
Yeah, I it was a challenge. It was a big leap for sure. I just like I love baseball. I love watching baseball. I don't have a favorite team or anything. I just love watching all baseball. So this kind of keeps me in the game a little bit more now that I'm too old to play it. Stuff. I still do play like senior ball, but yeah. The motivation was just like seeing how far we could take this and go with it and be proud of that later on. Like I like when my kids see me working and like people just I think kids kind of appreciate that stuff. So yeah, I think in the long run it'll all work out pretty great. So yeah, I think it was just like keep seeing the game. I love like working with my hands and stuff, so I love like just trying to do things myself instead of like getting somebody else to do it. But yeah, it was a it was a big leap though. Like it was pretty nerve wracking the day that I had to make that decision to like come over here because you don't know if it's gonna work out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
So, what is the hardest part
so
of
far.
being a part of the baseball bat making community? Like, I'm sure it's pretty cutthroat.
Yeah, we kind of know each other. Like we see each other every winter meetings and stuff, and everybody's cool with each other. Um, the hard part is for us was like brand building, like brand awareness. Just because we're walking the major league clubhouses, nobody knows who we are.
Right.
So it took 5 years to get the ball rolling, and now that people are starting to see and kind of like hear what we're doing, they're paying more attention to us. So I think that was like the hardest part to get through. It was just brand awareness, really, but everything else is good. Like our shop's pretty set up. We got two CNC lathes, two motion cat lathes. So these things cut bats in about 3 minutes. It's pretty great. And then if it's something very specific, I'll cut it by hand. If a player wants something very specific, I'll cut it by hand, then I'll measure it up and draw it up for the CNC file, and then we just save it after their that's their model. But yeah, we got a big paint booth. We have a humidor for the wood. We just installed a batting cage, uh, just more for like bat fitting. So it's a full cage, 20 by 70. We have hit tracks. We have Rapsodo just for like analytics and stuff. So um, players can come in. We just kind of give them a rundown of like what models we have to offer. We do a little testing with the player, and then we dial in kind of like what's best for them or what we think we recommend, and then we'll just go cut a bat right then and there for them. So they kind of get to see like they test the bats, they test the models, we dial in kind of what works best for them with like all the analytics, and then we just like bring them over to cut the bat in front of them. So it's kind of cool for them. They
Yeah, that's
Everybody
pretty
likes.
cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
So,
Yeah,
when are you going to be coming out with those torpedo bats?
yeah. We already have.
Oh
We had
yeah.
to. Yeah, we made quite a few already now. So yeah, it's we'll see what happens. I mean, guys are liking them, so you know, if they work, they work. So,
Yeah.
but we have a couple different models of it too. So it's not just one torpedo bat. So we did like a bunch of different models. We took player models like guys that we have in the minor leagues. We ballooned them out for them, and yeah. So Mike Turner, who's with the White Sox, he's in Birmingham. We took his model and like made it a torpedo bat. So We're not sold on torpedo. We kind of like the name Scud Missile because I feel like they look kind of like a Scud Missile a little bit more. I don't know. We'll come up with something. I don't know.
Any way you can get some extra meat on that bat, that's what the Yankees did. So you can't hate them for doing it. All the
That's
teams have
right.
access to those bats now.
Yeah, sure do. Like, yeah, we'll make basically anything. Like whatever player wants from barrel to handle, we'll dial the player in to exactly what they want.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I did see that you had a unicorn bat on one of your on your website. That was who
Yeah.
was that for?
Um, I think that was for somebody had ordered that, and yeah, like yeah, some of these bats get a little crazy with their designs, which I like. Like I like the challenge and stuff. And even our guys like Julian and Sean, like they'll try and like tinker with some artwork now and stuff. But yeah, I can't remember who that was for exactly, but it was an order, and then I had to make another one, like a second one, because somebody saw that and they're like, oh, I want that too. So they ordered it as well. So that's kind of the way it goes anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's a skin or anything like that. This is just a custom paint job, right?
Yeah. It's all airbrush or like hand paint, everything on there.
Man, that's crazy. So in February, Base Sports inked a partnership between the HRD Bat Company and Five Tool Baseball to enhance youth baseball education and engagement. Would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So we're just starting to kick things off now. They're doing their player our games of the week in Arizona, Texas, and California. So uh, that's kind of the segue into us visiting their sites, be on site to educate like players, parents, coaches, whoever, because like we believe that we kind of it boiled down to like these kids are 13, 14. If we give them the tool that they need now, are they going to be better by draft age? Like if there was two of the same player and you gave one the tool that he needs or she needs, and then you had the other player just going on with what they're doing now, is one going to be better? So yeah, we're just kind of educate what they're looking for to bat, what fits, and and possibly like start breaking down like analytics for the players and stuff like that. So we're super excited. We can't wait to like get on site and do some work with them. Yeah, Five Tools, great guys. Base management, great people. Like everybody's super great, fun to work with, and they know their stuff big time.
That's good to hear. I always like to hear about you know, youth baseball growing. And I think it's a great partnership between you guys and Base Sports and Five Tool Baseball. It's just, is you love to hear about stuff like that. So, what
Yeah.
can you tell us about what goes on in making of a bat? Because not a lot of us work in the baseball bat working industry.
Well, when I first started, I was just me and a hand lathe, and it was probably about an hour and a half per bat. And then, I did thousands of them by hand. And then before I even got CNC machine, I was making all these by hand. So you get kind of good at it, of course, like anything. So I had it down to a 15 minutes a bat. But it's all in like how your eye works with your hand, big time when you're turning it by hand. Um, and then if the player wants a different model, barrel change, handle change, you have to kind of see it, what they're saying to you, right? Like when you're making it by hand. Now it's mostly drawings. I just laser them up, drop, and then they just get into the CNC machine. But yeah, there's a lot of science behind it for sure. I just think you could turn a piece of wood just here you go, here's a bat. But there's
Yeah.
so much science, like the grains, the the cellular structure of each wood species, what works, what doesn't, density. Like there's so much science to it,
Hmm.
but it's kind of fun too. Like it's I learned a lot over the last 7 years or so, like a lot. I thought there was way more than I thought there would be to it, but yeah. And then you got to dabble into clear coats. What's best finish? How can you keep the bat protected without it like being too hard or too soft? So we had some stuff made for us, and it's I think it's a perfect balance of like hard enough to protect the bat, but it's also able, like, it gives the bat some elastic movement so the bat can move on contact and then come back. So I think we nailed our clear coat system, so it's good.
So HRD is known for creating a pop in your bats. For us people that don't know anything about the process that goes into that, can you divulge any information?
Yeah, I think just supplying players with the best wood we can get, and our finish clear coat system, those two together are what like makes us stand out. We've done wait what not well, I mean we've done it too. We've done exit velo testing on our bats against other competitors. We've had players, that like when we visit the clubhouses and stuff, we've had them test it against. Well, I'll put these bats up against any bat, and I don't think we've ever lost an exit velo like test or competition or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't like we're always 2 or 3 miles faster, always. So I think it's just a good balance of good hardwood and nice straight grains and that clear coat system that we're using is
If
perfect for
there are
us.
any of you out there that are wondering what I'm talking about when it comes to a pop, here are some examples.
That's the one I was waiting for. It's over, I
That
think.
right there is one heck of a pop.
And it sounds good too.
Man. And then you have this one right here. Oh, and yeah, that's the pop that you want. It's kind of like when you're swinging one of those aluminum bats, say
Yeah.
Mizuno or something like that. Whoever you want, Easton, any of those bats, you want to hear the ding. Well, when it comes to woodbacks, you want to hear the pop, and these are just some really good bats. You can tell how good a wood bat is, and the maker who makes these bats by how loud the pop is.
That's right. Yeah. Loudness and yeah, you can tell right away. Like brink, and you can I don't even have to see it. You just know. I can hear it and you go, oh, that ball's gone.
Yeah, just
That's
like that first video.
it happened last year, I think. There was an all-star showdown with IBL here in Welland, and I wasn't looking, but I heard the bat. And I knew right away that ball's so far gone. So it was pretty good.
So,
Makes you
what
feel good.
players? Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Just make it makes us feel good at the shop when players succeed, like do you know good things with the tools you
Oh
provide them,
yeah,
I guess.
absolutely. So, what players and or teams use your bats? Like talking about professional minor league teams, even going down to little league teams. Which teams use your bats?
Well, the minor league side of it, we got Toronto Blue Jays. We're pretty tight with the New York Yankees, St. Louis Cardinals. Um, who else do we get? Chicago Cubs. We're tight with, and then it's just like sporadic players all over. And then we sponsor two or I think we're in talks with our third collegiate league. So we're getting the whole league just like in the KCLB. Um, you're getting 6 or 8 teams that all know who you are now, and then the base management thing, that's a big one because that's in front of like a million players, a million youth players. We're
Oh,
going to
wow.
be like being able to like talk to them and converse with them, whether it's webinar or whatever. I'm sure I'll meet a lot of them, but yeah, just stuff like that. So it's yeah, there's quite a few, and then like out in BC, these bats are talking a lot now. We have a few teams out there that we sponsor, and then yeah, I don't know. There's just like there's a lot. Like we're just kind of like strategically getting them all over. I think our next move is going to be Australia. I think we're going to crack that market pretty soon. We have a lot of bats in the ABL. We're there, and I think it was the number one hitter and number one home run, or the average in home run was using HRD.
Huh.
Jared Dale. That's a good. I think that's a good market because these guys they're not getting good stuff over there. They eat it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You obviously want to get as many bats into as many hands as possible and more extensively into MLB hands as well. So, how do you go about doing that?
You just kind of show up and yeah. I don't ever try and sell bats. I like to kind of like build a relationship before I do anything. But yeah, we when we go to spring training, we'll just kind of set up. They know we're coming, obviously, it's a meeting. We'll set up our table with our bats, and we just kind of let the players come to us. And come over, we'll just say, feel free to try whatever we want, and then explain to them what we do and how we do things, and how, like, if you like this model, we can alter it to fit you perfectly. Um, and then just maybe hand out a couple samples here and there, and hope that they love it. Like I said, this year was great. We had a lot of like good feedback from players, a lot of orders from them, so it was pretty good. But yeah, it's basically setting up, and you don't push too hard, but kind of become buddies with them, and if they swing them, they swing them. If
Yeah,
not, I get it. I respect the player that doesn't want to change their, it's baseball, so it's superstitious. But yeah, it's whatever they want. We just kind of go with the motions. Sometimes you'll get an hour or two where you get nothing, just silence. You're just standing there, and then all of a sudden a rush will come in. It's just player, player, player. So it depends on where they're working out stuff. So yeah, it all works out though. It's fun.
yeah. So, do you have to? Are there any rules that you have to abide by when contacting a player, or like if you're at a ballpark and you're seeing batting practice and you want to hand a bat to, say, you know, Guerrero Jr.?
Yeah, well, like we have to ask for like basically permission and get BP passes if we want to do that. Um, Something we haven't done yet. With this year, we will. We plan to visit a lot more of the affiliations. So we'll be in Buffalo for Toronto and New Hampshire, New York Yankees. We're gonna go visit like Scranton and all them. But yeah, you have to like. I mean, the MLB doesn't really give you much. They like to yeah, they I don't know, they just keep their regulations, so we have to obviously ask for permission to come and hope that they give us BP passes and we can access the players. It's something that comes with the approval, is like we're able to access the clubhouses and stuff like that, so it's never a problem, but you do have to ask for
Yeah, I mean, I I can imagine just walking up to a random player and be like, "Hey, swing my bat,"
it.
especially with the top of the line bats, or so those companies would like to make you believe. Those bats, I know Guerrero. He's been using the same bat for a couple of years, so maybe that type of change wouldn't he wouldn't be into something like that. You never know what's going through their minds.
No, they don't. Yeah, those guys don't like to. They don't change. I respect it. I was talking to Anthony Rendon once, and I just said, "Hey, man, like if I copy your model, can I send you some bats?" He's like, "Nah, man." And that's when he was like, you know, hot
Yeah.
playing and I guess playing. But he said like legitimately said, "I hit 40 home runs last year. I'm not gonna change anything." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it, man. That's cool. I respect it. That's good."
Yeah. So,
So that's
superstitions
why
in
we hired
baseball,
him.
so I can understand that. So when are we going to see an HRD bat with Vlad Guerrero Jr.? I had to ask the question,
Ooh,
man.
uh, I don't know. Hey, maybe soon, one day. I don't know. We uh, we supplied the Vancouver Canadians their single A team with bats this year. Um, uh, we're all over kind of with Buffalo Buys as a triple A, double A, single A. So you never know. I don't know. Might just take a visit, maybe give it a shot. Maybe he'll love it. That's all. All it would take is one little. I love this thing.
Yeah.
We
All
know
it
it's
takes is
guaranteed.
one player.
Everybody. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Vlad Jr., what did you think of that 14-year, $500 million contract? It isn't ridiculous by MLB standards, but he'll be 40 when the contract is over. Like, wow.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's still playing. I don't know. People up here love it. Canadian, like they love it. Um, yeah, I think it's good for Toronto. I think they had to do it. I think he's their guy. Like I think he'll always be their guy for a while now. So I think it's very good for the team. I think it's good for everybody. Loves Vladdy. Everybody does.
Yeah, I just think he's a little bit too thick to be getting that type of contract, but that's just me. But hey,
Yeah,
he's got a good bat on him, so I can't hate on it.
yeah, he does have a good swing. So we'll see what happens.
So does HRD only make baseball hats, or are you into other things as well?
We just got batting gloves, some new like long cuff batting gloves. We do some merch like shirts and hoodies and hats. Obviously, the hat on now. I think we're gonna start. We do training bats, any kind of training bats. But I think we're gonna start getting into like some guarding, like hard guards.
Okay.
Get it? Hard
Yeah.
guards. HRD, GRD.
So how much are your bats? Are they customizable? And by customizable, like we obviously talked about the unicorn bat, but like, do you charge a certain amount if the customization is like a little bit out of this world?
Yeah, 'cause this is it's time more than anything, right? So our bats are 169 and 179 Canadian, which is like, pretty good for you guys. But when it's like custom like that, yeah, we'll charge. We usually charge like $200 just because we'll tack on like $20 just because it's more time, it's more dry time, it's more like you know sitting there with airbrush. So it's yeah, we just tack on $20 or $30, but you're still getting a piece of wood that's you're not going to get any better and a custom bat to what you want for less than most other companies. So yeah, I think we're doing okay.
Yeah. So what sets you apart from all of the other bat companies out there?
I think our ability to customize bats like models for players, and I think our durability, our breakage is very very low. and our quality and performance is it's like I I know it's our company and stuff, but like it's probably the best out there. I would say like they're very good. So yeah, I think the three things just quality, performance, and durability is what makes us stand out a little further. And our ability to like customize as well. I'll put anything, any handle, any knob, anything together. Just build a bat for whoever. So that's kind of a cool thing that we do as well. Is like it doesn't matter if you're 8 years old or you're you know hitting number four spot in the big leagues. You everybody's getting the same. They get the same treatment. They get the same product. Everybody gets the same wood.
Hmm.
So we made like 26-inch pro LB grade wood bats for kids that they're 8. They're not hitting stingers or anything. But
So it's
yeah,
not these cheap backs that from Walmart, right?
well, that's the thing. You can go buy 4 or 5 of those, or you can just buy one of ours.
Right.
So,
Because
yeah.
more than likely the ones that you buy cheaper, I always go by you get what you pay for. If you pay for something cheap and it's something that you want to last, like a lawnmower, then it's gonna break down consistently. So
That's right.
if
That's right.
if it's $150 bat, well, hey, it's an investment. So, but
That's
I
right.
obviously do not work
And
in the baseball bat making industry. Well, not obviously, but now I don't. So, can you talk about
okay.
if there are any type of innovations on the rise that would set your company apart from all the competitors, and do you
um,
have to pay attention to like um certain machines that are out there, for example, like that are becoming more innovative in the business and setting you apart from other competitors?
yeah, like we've got some stuff in the works that I think is going to be a game changer for us and like the level of baseball for youth and collegiate players, even some pros. Uh, I think it's going to be really good. I can't wait to like get that undergo and be able to say what we're doing. But as for like, we're working on different like styles of handling stuff. Uh, because there's like the axe handle and stuff like that. So we're kind of like coming up with our own things, which is pretty fun because you don't know if it's gonna work or not. I
Yeah.
like a good like R&D session. So uh, yeah, that machines. I mean, there's CNC lathes. There's 4-axis lathes that can cut the axe handle and stuff like that. I don't really pay attention to anybody else's like methods. I think is best. Um, but yeah, yeah, we just we bat makers. We've talked kind of agreed, and it was best said by one of them. He said, "There's 34 of us that are pro approved. If we're on a plane and 30 it crashes at 33 dot, are you making all the bats? No, we can't. So we just basically we don't step on each other's toes. We just do our thing.
Yeah. So, what does the future of the company look like?
We're here to take over. Uh, just I think our big thing to be like the education on bats and stuff for like youth players and stuff like that. I think that's going to be a huge movement for us. Um, and then just yeah, we're just going to keep going and hopefully just be known as one of the best bat makers out there.
That's one heck of a goal. And I don't see this business slowing down at all. But I do have to ask, you are involved, like you said earlier, in the KCBL, the Kansas Collegiate League Baseball. So, what exactly does that entail?
Well, we supply them with bats. Each team, there's 6 teams. We color them up the way they want, and then yeah, we just kind of give them a good deal on bats, player wise, like player orders, custom orders, and stuff like that. And then yeah, last year was my first time visiting, but I'm hoping to get there again this year and just be able to like mingle with the players, show face. I like doing that stuff. I like building relationships with people and just kind of like whether they buy a bat or not, I don't care. I just want to know. Just want to know that they're good dudes and I'm a good dude. We get along, and, So yeah, that's basically it. We give them a package deal, and then we give them the players a deal, and they they in turn get a good deal on a good bat. So it works out perfect.
Well, if you do come down to Wichita, just we got to link up because I'll be out
Yeah,
at
for
the
sure.
KCLB as well. I'm gonna be their
Okay, yeah,
media guy. If you can't figure that out yet.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. No,
I
that's
got
perfect. Yeah, great. Yeah.
I gotta ask, man, what was the first bat you ever made, and was it gold?
Oh, give me 2 seconds. I'll show you. So this is a pretty cool story. So the very first bat I made was a mini bat for my buddy who had a baby boy. So I made him just like this little 18-inch bat. But this one here, I went to a lumber yard and they didn't have any wood for me. All they had there, he's like, well, I got this piece of ash on the ground full of oil. It was like a wheel chalk. So I bought it for $5. And then this is the bat. It's my very, very first bat. But if you see right here, there's like a massive knot right there, right
Oh
where you
yeah,
don't want it to be. But yeah,
yeah.
it's a club, it's pretty heavy, but I was pretty proud of that. Like this is the very first one I ever made, and yeah, that's it.
So
It's
did,
not gold, it's slave tempered piece of ash. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Old
so did
fingers
you
took off
make
on
that
that.
with the lathe, or did you do that by hand?
By hand. Yeah. So I didn't start making back on the CNC lathe until 2020, at the end of 2021. So I did 4 years of just hand bat. A lot. It's a lot on the old back. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it was also good because it was like a personal touch. When these guys ordered bats, like they would, I like if I see him succeed with it, I'd be like, good, like it worked, and there's like the little connection there. Like this dude just, you know, I've been cut and stabbed like wood chunks. The lathe almost took my fingertip off one. It's a
That's
battle,
fun.
but I think, yeah, yeah, it was a that lathe was a scary lathe. My first one was scary. I think I paid $200 for it, and ooh, it was scary because if you just like bumped it a little bit, it would fire up. So that's how old Pinky almost went bye bye.
See, I used
Good
to
thing it didn't
run a
though.
lathe myself, and yeah, I've heard some horror stories of people losing limbs.
Yeah,
It's man, it's nasty. You got
yeah.
to be careful around
They're
those things.
yeah, they're a pretty gnarly machine for sure.
Yeah.
I've
So
seen
what do you
tools go
think?
fly.
Oh. So what do you think of the Kansas Collegiate League baseball and what they're doing? Because they've been in business, I use that word loosely since it's a nonprofit. Um, but they've been in business for a short amount of time, just like you, and they're starting to rise, among the ranks. That they're now the largest uh, collegiate baseball, well, the Summer Showdown is the largest collegiate baseball tournament, and then you have the Kansas Collegiate League baseball, and they're starting to run things, you know, here in Wichita. So what do you think about Kansas Collegiate League baseball?
I think they're doing the right thing. I think those boys are they've got their stuff together for sure. When I got to finally meet them, like I would pay attention the first couple of years, but when I got to go down there and finally meet them, so I went down there twice last year. I went down to it was the All Star game, yeah. So I visited the players. You know what players were there anyway for the All Star game, and I got to meet David Sheldon and a bunch of players, a bunch of the coaches. It was pretty great. Um, and they were kind of explaining to me where they're heading, and I'm like, dude, that like is amazing. So I, yeah, I think they're on the right path to who knows, be an affiliation sometime or whatever, right? So I think the boys know what they're doing, and yeah, they're doing really good stuff. And there's a lot of good ball players there too, like really good ball players.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's the talent. I was just like, holy, like everybody here is good. So yeah, it was good baseball. It was fun to watch. And then I went down for the summer showdown. That was really good because there were so many ball players and so many teams, and everybody was good. Like every team, there wasn't a weak team really. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you
yeah,
go to tournaments, you're like, there's that one or
right.
two weak teams. Like it seemed like everybody had a strong team, and I think that's on Dave and Sheldon. Like who I'm not sure which one sets that. I think Dave does, but to find those things, to find that talent, those teams, to not bring in somebody that's kind of weaker is get mollywopped all over. But yeah, I think they're doing great. I think they're going to do great things, and I think it's going to go pretty far.
So we do have a question here. It's a very interesting question, actually, from ICT Sports. What was your most expensive bat?
$200 Canadian. Yeah, we that's not true. Maybe $250 Canadian. I think we sold. Which one was it? I want to say maybe a birch. I made a bat like a white birch tree. You know the white paper trees
Yeah.
with black dots all over. Oh, that one took some time, man. But I think I think it was like $250 Canadian. Like all our custom bats are roughly 180 to 200 Canadian, which is like $40 for you guys, I think. Yeah. But yeah, and then that like we don't limit design. We whatever model, whatever you want the model. You want a flared knob on this certain bat barrel model. We include everything. So um, yeah, I would say I think it was like around $250.
So on top of Kansas Collegiate Baseball, you have the Summer Showdown. You got Summer Showdown 2025 coming up here uh, next couple of months. Um, and you're involved with the Chick-fil-A Home Run Derby. As we saw with the pictures in the intro from last year's Home Run Derby, what is that like being involved in the Home Run Derby, customizing bats and all that stuff, man?
It was pretty good. It felt good to be there finally because we've been doing it for 3 years. Uh, it was good to be like I was on the field with the Chick Fil A guys, just hanging out, watching these guys hit the ball super far. And I, I wish I could do that, but yeah, it was great because so there's not a lot of people that get to do that on a bat. I think I might be the only one in North America that is allowed to do that on a bat, right from like corporate from Chick Fil A. So yeah, it was cool. Like just to see your bats, perform, and it's not taking anything away from the players, of course, but it's just it was fun to be there for that and see the battles and like I think everybody kind of gets along there, so there's some like yipping you know, chop them up. But yeah, it was fun. It was a great feeling to be there for that.
Yeah, with that 300-foot fence, man,
Yeah,
you're gonna have a
yeah.
lot of home
Easy,
runs.
man. Yeah, there was a lot. It took a while. It took a while. I
Yeah.
was waiting for my Chick-fil-A for life card, though, but it didn't.
I want that Chick-fil-A for life so bad.
Maybe, maybe yeah,
So,
maybe this year. We have like 2 Chick-fil-A's in Canada. There's not too many.
wow. I think we,
When you see one, you go,
yeah, it's like finding a pineapple in the ocean or something. So you
yeah,
customized your bats
there's not
for
a
the
lot.
home run derby. I saw those bats from last year, and they are just nasty looking. Are there any surprises for this year's version?
I let them. They tell me what they want.
Really?
I think this year's will be cool. I think they'll look cool, a little bit different. Um, but yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't know. I'm allowed to, but they will be different from last year. That's for sure.
We'll just have to wait and see. Everybody knows I'll be out there,
Yeah,
so you want to see those bats? I'll I'll let you know
yeah,
what they look like. I'm sure I'll create a
yeah.
reel or
I'll be
something
down
like
there,
that.
sweating, sweating like crazy. I couldn't believe how hot it was down there.
Uh,
Nuts.
don't remind me.
Yeah,
I like cold weather. I would rather live in Antarctica, okay, and not
really?
like the negative
Oh
200
man,
degrees area, obviously.
just on the outside, right? Yeah,
So, what were your thoughts
yeah.
when
I'm
you
looking forward
first?
to visiting.
What were your thoughts when you first came on board to design these bats and get involved with the Summer Showdown Home Run Derby?
It felt special. It felt special when you get like you get a contract from Chick Fil A that I had signed, stating like I'm able to use their logo and stuff, which is pretty cool. Like I felt like that was a must be. Uh, but yeah, no, it felt good just to be part, I guess. And like I said, I've worked with these guys. This is their 4th year. They're wonderful dudes. The coaches are great. All the players I met were fantastic. So it's just fun to be part of that. When everything kind of clicks and works, it's pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be an amazing thing to know that a company as reputable as Chick-fil-A is just like, hey, we want you to make these bats for this amount of years, and so that's just awesome. That right there is an amazing success story. Like you taking a big plunge into the Antarctic, the Indian Ocean or whatever, and not knowing what's underneath it, and quitting your job, just starting all of this, not knowing anything, how successful it was going to be, and you've done pretty dang good for yourself, if I say so myself.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah. It was a very hard decision to 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 leave that because I liked my job. I worked at like a Toyota motor manufacturing, so I was like kind of in the engineering side of things, and I loved it. But I felt like this. I don't know. I always had a good feeling. I always knew that you work hard, it'll pay off. And that's what I tell my kids all the time. You work hard, it'll pay off. So I want now it's like personal. Now I got to show them. I got to back my words up. So no, it was really scary, but uh, if you want it, you you go get it. You know what I mean? Like you'll
Hmm.
always make money if you really need to or want to. Uh, but yeah, it was just it's nice to be part of baseball and not have to play every day. Get sore, get hurt. Uh, yeah, it's a. I love my job. I love like what I do. I love the people I meet. Uh, I meet a lot of people, which is great, and everybody has their own story. So you kind of like trade stories, and you meet like I met
Yep.
through Dave, which would have never happened if I didn't know Dave or Shell, right? So yeah, I think things are good. I got a good thing going, and Nick's kind of he works as well, like in his job, but he's going to start, partaking in more events with me and stuff like that because he's says he's retiring from fast pitch, but I don't think he's gonna. But he plays a lot. Summers are tied up with his ball, so but yeah, hopefully it'll be nice to like he came down to spring training with me and we have like myself, Carly, Nick, and then yeah, who knows? Wichita will probably be the whole gang. Who knows? I hope so. It'd be cool to get all of us down there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there's a
absolutely.
lot of travel this summer. Yeah. There's a few trips I have to, and everywhere's hot, hot, hot. Super hot. Summer hot.
Going to
Yeah,
Phoenix
so
anytime
I mean,
soon.
I there is one in Arizona, Texas, and California, and then Wichita,
Man,
all in summer. So yeah,
yeah, that's rough.
it'll be all right.
We got a couple more comments. I will show them on stream. Uh, I really don't want to, but I'm going to anyway. Hot Zone Sports needs a bat, and then no, I won't send you money. God,
Yeah, man,
that's horrible.
you're not even half.
Not even that.
Yeah, I'll make you a custom bat. I'll
That'd
make
be
you
fun.
like you put your logo on it and stuff. Yeah.
See, see, Dave, he gave us that bat right there, so I wanted to represent. Thank you to my
Oh,
wife for
dude,
hanging it up
dude.
because she's good
Yeah.
with accessorizing and well, just figuring things out while I'm getting stuff ready for the
Yeah.
podcast and stuff. So yeah, thank you, wifey, for doing that for me. And but
Yeah. Tell her I said thank you too.
yeah, I definitely will. I think she's watching right now, so she's probably saying you're welcome. But that is going to be it for today's show. Um, I just want you to stay on a little bit after here. I wanted to discuss something with you, but thank you for coming on to the live stream slash podcast. We had some technical difficulties, but
Yeah.
we got it under control because this is what we do at Hot Zone
Yeah.
Sports.
Finally
We
worked.
we get it under control. But it's great
That's
guest
right. You did.
today, Trevor Oakes. Thank you for coming on the show. It's purely uh, a treasure to have you come on here. We're doing great things at Hot Zone Sports. We're taking off. We're getting a lot more guests, and so the entertainment value is going to continue to stay high. So on Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, the NFL draft is going to kick off, and you already know. Yeah, that's right. Uh huh. We got the Colts. We got the Horseshoe Mob podcast. We're going to be live. So if you have not followed them or subscribed to them, go ahead and do so. And if you have not followed HRD Bat Company, go ahead and do so. They are on Twitter. They are on
Yeah.
Facebook. Are there any other social media sites that you're on, man?
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X or whatever it is now. That's it. I think so. Yeah. Instagram's where you're gonna see most of the cool looking bats. I guess they filter through the other things, but
Yeah, go ahead and follow him. Show him that love, and go check out his website. It's pretty cool. They got the about page. They show some of their product out there. You got links to their Instagram. They got lots of good stuff, especially on their Twitter/X. I cannot say X just by itself. I can't. I'm sorry, Elon.
Yeah, I feel the same.
It's
I
just
feel the same. I feel like I can't say X.
I feel
It's weird.
naked or something when I say it. It's just not right. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week.
Thank you so much for having me, Ryan. That was great. That was fun.
Absolutely.
I'll see you in August.
Yes, you will. Peace out.